G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 9 of this FIFA 23 Arsenal career mode. Make sure to check out the previous episodes, see how we got here, and sorry if it's been a while since the last episode's been uploaded. Been a little bit busy again, but I'm trying to get back on track now. And with this episode 9 here, we're just going to be getting through a couple games. I believe we have an FA Cup game to deal with and then a Premier League game against Brighton. But this is basically a transfer episode, at least the first part of the transfer month. As you see there, we just came off a 1-0 loss against West Ham, so this whole month is the transfer month, and I'm looking to add and bring in a couple players. See, a lot of these players here I have listed either linked to us now or linked to us in the past, and so there's a lot to choose from. Quite like the look of a couple of them, but can really only maybe do one big deal, at least this transfer window, until we get our budget replenished next season. But yeah, there's so many to think of. Obviously the transfers aren't updated to what they are in real life because I started this career mode at the start of the season, I believe. So there's still obviously João Felix is on Atletico and then Trossard's still on Brighton, but I am going to look to move him to the Gunners like he is in real life because I kind of want to keep this still a bit realistic, so I want to make some transfers that happen in real life, which I'm going to do. But yeah, first up is a match against a lower league side here in the FA Cup, so we should be able to deal with them pretty easily. But you see here, they actually have the first chance of the game, and you know these teams are going to be up playing against Arsenal anyway, because it's a big club that they get to play against, probably for the first time in their careers as well. But we get it out wide to Smith Rowe, and Smith Rowe's going to score. I'm a bit upset his player model doesn't look like him, so I might have to look into playing on PC in future FIFAs just to download certain faces and game faces and face mods, that sort of thing. But we get to Eddie Nketiah now, just before half time, makes it 2-0. And it looks like we're going to wrap this one up pretty quickly here, as we should not be going out to this team anyway. So basically just dealing with business, as we should. Nketiah in the second half finds Marquinhos, and I think this guy could have a future, as he gets a goal there to make it 3-0. That's basically going to wrap it up. I can see him being a player in real life as well in the future. I really like the look of him, but he's still so young and raw. Can't really say that yet. But at the same time, we saw Martinelli and Saka early on, and they've turned out to be absolute stars for us. So maybe give it another year or two, and Marquinhos could join them. Yeah, going to be making our first transfer now. We're going to go in for Leandro Trossard, like I said. He made the move in real life after we couldn't get Mudryk. And I was looking forward to possibly bringing Mudryk in, but now that he's gone to Chelsea, it just feels wrong to try to get him to play for Arsenal now. I won't be able to look at him the same way. But we got Trossard, who's a decent plan B, and we get him for a decent price as well. You see there, just under 15 mil. And he's not rated the best, but he plays. I feel like he plays a lot better than he's rated. 28 years of age, so he's in the prime of his career. And we're going to get him for at least a couple of years. And he's basically just going to be my super sub. I think he can play on either wing, either coming in for Martinelli or Saka. And I think he can even play striker, is one of his listed positions as well. He's not the quickest, but he's got great technique and he's a great finisher. And you see there we get an email. It's actually Tomiyasu. His release clause has been paid by Manchester United. And I didn't even know Tomiyasu had a release clause. And that's not happening, so I'm going in to renegotiate his deal. Hopefully he wants to stay. He doesn't want to extend his contract, but he's happy to stay, so this time I'm not going to give him a release clause, and I'm just going to increase his wage a bit and make sure he's happy. Because I do really rate Tomiyasu. He's kind of a backup at the moment, but I can see him basically just sharing the starting role with Ben White if I want to make Ben White a right back permanently, or use him as a centre back again. But I think it's good just that he can play both. And Tomiyasu is basically the same. I think when he came to the club, he was more known as a centre back, but to really get out in the field and play for us, he's had to change his role and play right back. And speaking of right backs, we're going to bring in this guy. Don't really know anything about him, but I believe he made the move in real life as well, so I thought I'd go ahead and make that deal as well. Obviously very cheap, so I thought it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect our transfer budget. And he's got a bit of potential, but yeah, he's just really raw. As you see there, 18 years of age, 67 rated, so he's definitely not good enough at the moment, but in the future he could be something. You see that the standings, 21 games played, currently sitting in third position, but we're still a mile off second and first there between Liverpool and Manchester United, who both only lost 1 game each. But as long as we stay in the top 4, I'll be content, and then if we can make a run and try to snatch the title at the end of the season, I would be ecstatic. But yeah, our Premier League game is going to be up against Brighton, against a former Arsenal man in Danny Welbeck, who also played for Manchester United, I believe. So hopefully we can have the last laugh and deal with this Brighton side. But we are going to be away at the Amex Stadium, and Brighton in real life have been playing unbelievably well, and a lot of their players are really being targeted by the big Premier League clubs. Like Arsenal just got Trossard, and they tried to get a midfielder as well. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I think it was Casado or something along the lines of that. But Brighton wanted an absolute boatload, and we didn't pay for it, so we got Jorginho. And you see there Brighton take the early lead, and now it's going to be Erdegaard looking to equalise, and no one stops the ball, and he goes all the way and finishes it beautifully. The captain in the top right corner absolutely bullets that home. Keeper had no chance. It was just a beautiful finish. And we're on the attack again here through Martinelli. Waits for the run of Tierney, who's got speed. And is he going to go all the way? No, he cuts it back in the middle, and Jesus is there just to tap it home. Great play there by Tierney, and a great finish there by Jesus, who's leading the golden boot, and doesn't look like that's going to be changing anytime soon, as he's on a crazy streak and will definitely break the record if he keeps on this pace. And basically from kickoff now, Saka plays it through to Erdegaard, and he's going to sweat it across to Jesus, and the goalie's caught in no man's land. And I don't know what was worse, the defending or the goalkeeper play there. That was just terrible. And Jesus gets 2 in about a minute. And we're still going for it in the first half. Brighton the defence is wide open, and Ben White sees Erdegaard in the middle, and Erdegaard's going to hit it. Gets saved by the keeper. Martinelli stabs at it, and the keeper's made an absolute meal of that one as well. He saved it into the post, but then it's crept over the line. So I'm not actually sure if that went down as Martinelli's goal or an own goal. And Jesus this time playing provider, and Saka gets lucky. And what a jammy goal that was. The defender made the tackle, but it bounced off, basically pinballed around, and Saka was in the right position. And speaking of Saka now, the second half gets to Jesus again, but this time it's saved. And it's currently 5-1, but we're still looking for more. As you see, we're making subs, because we don't really need our star players to play the full game. But this time it's going to be Ben White off the corner. And I don't remember the last time I scored a corner goal. I feel like they're very rare. And another goal scored by another guy who doesn't even have his game face in the game, Ben White. So Ben White and Smith Rowe scoring this episode and looking like absolute muppets, because it looks like nothing like them at all. But you see there the stats, 25 shots, I think that was to 2. An absolute pounding there against Brighton. You see there we've had some transfer offers come in. It's going to be Erdegaard. I'm not going to be doing that deal. I'm not going to be selling my captain, which I feel like Arsenal does way too often. And then El Neni. I'm okay with El Neni going, so if they up their offer a bit, I'll be happy to do that. And it's been brought to my attention here that Declan Rice has been approached, so if I want to make that deal happen in the next episode, I'm going to have to make a move. And let me know if you guys would like to see that, because I think I'm going to do it, but, you know, I'd also like your guys' opinion. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.